Well, hello and welcome back to the Hogfather YouTube channel. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for all their fantastic comments and all the views that I had on my last video. It was interesting to make a review over the Seahog Boat's old webpage and all the models of Seahog boats that there are about. Thank you very much for that, and if you haven't had a chance to have a look at it, have a quick look on my channel. It is, I think, worth a view. Anyway, today this is the second video, and what I'm going to try and do is have a look at the boat ages and the serial number and how we can check how old your boat is from your serial number. Now, please bear with me, it isn't an exact science. Arnie, great guy, but he did not play by the rules. There are rules as to how you should display your boat HIN number, which is a hull identification number. British Marine do have a guide to what you should use and what numbers and what references. It didn't get abided by all the time by Arnie. He used his own system, and I'm going to hopefully try and talk you through what I think is the system he used. Now, it didn't always get followed, and he wasn't always there. Sometimes the lads that worked at Poolside Mouldings or Seahog Boats, sometimes they put the numbers on the boats and they had their own system. So there are a few different ways of identifying your boat, and let's have a look at how I think is the way he did it. So bear with me. I hope I've tried to explain it as best I can. If you're still unsure, then put a comment into the comment section with your serial number, and I will try and help you establish what age your boat is. Some of the early hunters and shorties don't have any plates. It's a little bit of a guesswork. I am going to do another video on hunters and shorties. There are various versions of them, and I'm going to try and talk you through which mark you've got, whether it's a Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, and a rough age as to what your boat is. Insurance wise, no one can really dispute what you say, because no one can either confirm or deny the age of your boat, especially once it gets past 20, 25 years. So if you say it's a January 1995, I don't think Porthcawl Marine Insurance or anyone out there can dispute it, because there's no records, there was nothing found, and there's no way to fully prove that you're wrong or right. So we can have an educated guess on what age your boat is. So have a look at what I've done and drop some comments into the boxes if you disagree or you agree or you're not sure of what your boat is, and I'll see if I can help. So let's get to see what I've found out.
Right, where should we start? Let's start with how the British Standard hull identification number should be written. Right, here, as you can see, the back of the boat, the HIN number, the hull identification number, should be displayed in two places. So generally you've got the boat's main ID plate, which is somewhere quite visible, and then secondly you'll have a smaller plate just with the HIN number on. So on a Seahog, your main boat plate would generally be in the splash well with the brand Seahog and the rest of the information for the boat on it, and then there'll be a second smaller plate, or there should have been post 1997, either in the rear of the boat, underneath the rubbing strip, underneath the chrome section of the splash well, somewhere at the back of the boat, usually on the right hand side, or sometimes it's in the in and around the steering wheel. So let's have a look at how the HIN number should be written. Right, as you can see, we've got ABC. This is the hull, the manufacturer's identification code. Now, you will see two more letters in front of this generally, but it'll be GB, SP for Spain, So all in the UK boats, it's going to be GB. So that's just the country. So the ABC is the hull, it's the manufacturer's identity code. So for Arnie and Seahog, he was PSM, which was Poolside Mouldings. It's still registered if you look on British Marine. So that generally should be PSM for a Seahog boat post 1997. Having said that, it wasn't always the case. Sometimes he didn't put it. Sometimes I've even seen PBC. But generally, Arnie's manufacturer's identification code was PSM, Poolside Mouldings. So that's the first three letters. The next 5 digits, this can be letters, numbers, whatever you want. That is the hull's serial number. So that is what you would give your insurance company for the reference or the serial number for insurance purposes. Now, this is where it gets complicated. The next 2 digits, the date of manufacture, B6. Now, B, for this purpose, is A is January, B is February, C is March, and so forth. So if it's 7, you're July. In this case, B is February. Now, 6. 6 is the last year, the last number of the year. So it could be 2006, it could be 1996, it could be 2016. It's very vague, but that's how you do it. Now, the next 2 digits, 06, is the model year. So if you've got a Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3 of any type of boat, this will be the model number, the model of the year, sorry. So in this case, you know it's not 1996 when it refers to B6 because the year of the model is 06. So there is no boats going to be produced in this model before 2006 because they were a different model year. So we know that 6, the 6 in the B6 is either 2006 and it was made the same year that model came out, or it's 2016. Again, a little bit complicated and a little bit vague. So it's good to know when you're asking people what year it is. I get sent a lot of hull identification numbers. I'll always ask for a picture, mainly because Arnie changed a few things on, say, the Sea Trooper. He changed the shape of the windows. He added a slight difference to the front of the boat where the front roller was. So it gives you a little bit of an identification of actually how old it is. Again, it's a little bit guesswork, but that is how British Marine want a hull identification number written down on the back of your boat. Right, next on is, let's have a look at Seahog Boat's plates pre-1997. Right, here we have an example of a pre-1997 Seahog Boat's plate. As you can see, you can sell it pre-1997 because there is no reference to a CE marking. There is no reference to it, a category, because these boats were not yet CE certificated. Little quick giveaway here, that even though this is pre-1997, I do know, just by looking at the telephone number, that it is post-1995, mainly because there's a 1 in the Preston area code. So again, that is a little giveaway. I think it was April or September 1995, we all got a 1 in our phone number. So that's again a little bit of a telltale, and it can narrow it down a little bit. So let's have a look at this plate. Obviously we've got Seahog Boats, poolside mouldings, which we've established was his British Marine name. Obviously the address down at Nays Lane, Freckleton, telephone number. And on the right hand side, this particular boat, and I was kindly allowed to use this plate, is a Sea Prince, a great boat. Its serial number is FF892. Now, we'll go into that in a little bit of a detail in a second. Next down on the list is this particular boat was rated to 75 horsepower. So that's all the information you got pre-1997. And you didn't get a smaller plate anywhere else on the boat. It was literally just that. Slightly exaggerate. Occasionally I have seen a little version which is just basically the end of that plate where it says model, serial and max HP. I have seen that on the back of the boat, but not very often. One thing you can always rely on is that there's no way that Arnie stuck to any rules. He did what he wanted, and one boat is different to the next. But this particular Seahog Sea Prince is FF. Now, the first F is the year. Now, there is also two or three different ways of looking at this, but generally, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. So F is 6. Now, I'm pretty certain, if you're thinking it's pre-97 and post-1995, that this first letter of F, which is equal to 6, is 1996. Now, when I say pretty certain, I can prove by receipts on some boats if A was 1, B was 2, but on other boats A was 0, because we actually know the year of some boats. So again, it is guesswork, but for the purposes of insurance and so forth, this could be a 1995 or it could be a 1996. I'm going to say it's a 1996. Generally, the ones that used A as a 0 were more the beginning of the decade, as in 2000 or so, sorry, 1990, 1991. So for this boat, F is 6. We know it's not a 2006 because that would have been after 1997. And we know it's not a 1986 because he didn't do the Sea Prince in 1986. So this boat is 1996. The second F, again, F represents 6. And 6 in this case is the month. So the 6th month of the year is June. So this beautiful Sea Prince, and I know this boat, is a June 1996. But this one thing is certain about Arnie is nothing certain. But on this case, I am 95% convinced that this Sea Prince is a June 1996. Next up is the Seahog Boat's pre-1997 second plate. Now, this wasn't on every boat, but let's have a look at one that was actually visible. Right, here we go. We've got a second plate. Now, these generally should be out of general view, so slightly hidden, but not completely hidden. This one, as you can see, is off a Seahog Sea Trooper. And I believe this one was screwed to the inside of the transom, so right at the back of the boat, inside of the on the back side of the transom. Now I'm going to show this one, and we'll have another look at the serial number on a pre-97 boat. Here we have GL3165. So working on the same premises as the last plate we looked at. G, so you've got A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5, F is 6, and G is 7. So we know that is G is equal to 7. So Sea Trooper 7 I happen to know it's a Mark 1 Sea Trooper, this one, because I've seen a picture of it. So that boat, I'm convinced, is a 1997. It's got a CE plate on it, so I knew it was after 1987, even though there wasn't a Trooper around in 1987, but we can rule that out because it's got a CE plate on it. So we know it's post 1997, and G, in this case, represents 1997. Second digit L, I won't go through it, but L is the 12th letter of the alphabet. So L is December. So this boat is a December 1997. And the 3165, all that literally refers to is the invoice number, or so I'm led to believe by a couple of lads who used to work for Arnie. That was the actual invoice number. So GL is 1997 December, and the invoice number for this particular boat when it left the poolside mouldings was 3165. Well, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. Let's have a look at the ID plates post 1997. Right, this is what the post 1997 plate looks like. This is a bit of a rough example, but I thought I'd put this one up because generally they're almost blank. The ink on the plates generally washed off. So I know mine hasn't got any writing on it. So I've given a middle of the road example. Some are pristine, some don't have anything on. So this is one that's a little bit faded. So let's have a look at the information we've got. So we've now got, for a start off, if you look at the middle, you've got boat design category C. So this, if you look at the model number, is the model is a Commodore. So the Commodore was a category C boat. On the right hand side, you've got the CE mark and Arnie's identification number, which starts with 1997, and I think it's -407, but I'd have to check that because they were certified in 1997. So this is where it gets complicated. So the 6 boxes we've got model, Commodore, serial number, which we've touched on, max horsepower, which this Commodore was allowed at 70 horsepower. Over to the right, you got max persons. Again, I'd have to check. This is either 6 or 8 for a Commodore. Can't quite recall. I do think that is either a 6 or an 8. Below that, you've got max luggage. That should be a picture of a suitcase. So they put down 40 kilos. Again, he made this up a little bit. A total max weight of 490 kilos. So that's what all the information gives you. Now, when I said it gets complicated, this is where it gets complicated. Because, as you can see, NB, N is, I believe, the 14th letter of the alphabet. So, the year is 14. Now, I happen to know this is not a 2014 boat. So, it's not 2014. Now, there's another train of thought that he started counting from 1997 when they got verified, but no. This is an early boat. So in this case, generally you're looking for a second plate because this NB is part of just the serial number of the boat. So it's also generally linked to the invoice. So the invoice number for this boat was 3971. That NB might not mean month or year. That could be someone called Neil Buchanan who bought the boat. So yes, it could be a 2014 because sometimes it was done like that, but other times always check for a second plate, and we'll go into how you look at the second plate next. Right, let's have a look at Seahog Boat's second place post 1997. Right, I'm going to show you a couple of examples here because Arnie being Arnie, he just did not play again with the rules. He just made everything up himself, and he just wouldn't abide by rules. He was a one-off, great guy, but he was really a rule breaker, should I say. So as you can see, here we have PBC. Now that's Plymouth Boat Company. So why it's on a Seahog, I do not know. It's certainly not Poolside Mouldings. The serial number, this one was a Sea Jeep, so Sea Jeep 797. Straightforward, that was the serial number for this particular boat. Then we have A1. Now, I believe, having looked at this boat, that this is correct. This is month A, as per how you're meant to do a HIN number, and it's 2001. So I think this is actually correct on this boat, and as per how it should be on a HIN number. The next two letters, now it appears to be an S7. Really don't know. It's meant to be the year this model came out. It could be September 1997 as a Mark 1 Sea Jeep. Who knows, but it shouldn't be that. If it was 1997, it should be 97 there. So he's not stuck to the rules, but I'm going to say September 1997 was the model year, and the year of this boat was January 2001. So here we have another example of the rear second plate. This one again on a Sea Jeep, so hence the SJ. Then we've got 32C or 32, whatever that one is. Again, serial number would have been SJ 32C or 0. Then we've got A9. Now I know this boat, lovely Mark 1 Sea Jeep. So I do believe this is a January 1999. I don't think it's a 2009, and it's certainly not a 1989. So I'm going to say it's a January 1999. Next two digits. Now this should be, if it was a Mark 1, which it is a Mark 1 Sea Jeep, should be, if it followed the same format as the last one, should be again September 1997. But for some reason, we've got two zeros. I cannot explain this. I'd love if someone could tell me what it is, but you can't have a manufactured boat in 1999 with a model number of 2000 because it was made prior to the release. And there are several boats of Mark 1 Sea Jeeps that are before 2000, so the Mark 1 Sea Jeep is definitely model year is not 2000. So I don't know what's going on here, and again, I'd love if someone could put in the comments any comments to what I've done. I've done an awful lot of research, and I'm still researching, but it's not clear, and sometimes it's totally unexplainable. So this 00 or 00, I just don't know what it means. So make of that what you want.
Well, I hope that's explained a little bit, and I hope it has made you have a go at checking your own ages of boats. My own boat is a Seahog Samurai. It is a post 1997 because it has got the CE plate on it, even though it's completely worn off. And my serial number is GG, which G is obviously the 7th letter of the alphabet. So my boat, I believe, is a July 1997. I don't have a second plate on mine, even though it is a post 1997. So again, it isn't exact science. I've done my best to try and age your boat or help you age your boat. It is a bit of guesswork, and if you do decide that you need a little bit of help, drop me a comment in with your serial number, but I will need, as I said in the video, a picture of your boat, because if it's a Mark II Trooper, we can have a rough guess that it's not going to be a 1998, say, for instance, and it's more like a 2008 if it's an 8 at the end, and I'll help you try and do what I want. So let's see what you think about it. Drop some comments in. Now, please, I know it's a bit cheesy, but please do press the like and subscribe. It helps me get to the top of the search channels if anyone puts in Seahog Boats, and it'll help people with their Seahogs, hopefully. There should be more videos to come, or there will be more videos to come. I've said I'm going to be doing a shorty video, hunter video. We'll start there because they're the early boats, and then we'll move on with the rest of them. I've got some sea trials coming up. I've got my own Seahog Samurai trial. I've not been out in it yet. So that's at the yard at the moment, getting its engine fettled. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and please drop any comments and let me know how I'm doing. Thank you very much.